Definitely going to need a strap. Okay, so make sure you got your strap handy. Most of the poses today, most of them will use a strap. So Nadi Shodhana, so breathing. So we'll do that first. So we'll tick that off for the day, and just, you should all know how to do that now. So just Pranav Mudra. So just bring the hands down, the fingers down, thumb on right, inhale left, block left, release right, exhale, and just stick to 4 and 6. So 4 inhale, 6 exhale, 4 inhale, 6 exhale. So continue doing what you're doing, but then just add in Kumbhaka, which is holding. So 4. So it's going to be 4 inhale, 4 hold, 6 exhale. Okay, so just bring that in for the next 30 seconds or so. Beautiful. And then just once you release everything out of the right nostril, just come into seated deep breathing. So making sure that you start lengthening through the spine, so shoulder blades together, sternum up, chin to chest. And just work on the same thing, 4, 4, 6. Once you get at the top of 4, just count to 4 again. And 6 exhale. You shouldn't get dizzy with Kumbhaka, which is holding, just yet, but there's a possibility if you've got high blood pressure and stuff, there's a possibility that you could get dizzy. If you do get dizzy doing Kumbhaka, doing the hold, just stop doing the hold and just continue with the breath. So. Then on your very next exhale, we're going to just flip over and come into wide-legged child's pose. So those who have just come on, if you just come on late, so we need a strap. We're doing most of the poses are strap poses today. So knees out wide, hips back. And if you want to use the strap in this, you can just hold it in your hands. Just joking. Coming down, making sure those hips are back. And just make sure that the strap is close by because we will be using it in this pose as well. So just a couple of minutes in normal child's pose, in Balasana. Sticking to the breath, just remembering to really work on the depth of the inhale. It's always what I focus on, the depth of the inhale, and the exhale starts working itself out. This is the most simplest pose, but really effective. I like doing this every day if you can. If you can do this every day, it's pretty awesome. So I like to put it in every class at some stage, but it is a nice way to start a class. So on the next inhale, just help yourself up a little bit and bring the feet, the knees together. So this is the correct, well, this is Balasana, so with the knees together. And grab the strap. So coming up, we're only going to be in this for about a minute. It's a pretty tough pose, particularly first off. And what we're going to do with the strap is bring it over and place it behind our back. So we've got it like this. So you've got the hands like this. So you've got either side of the strap. Okay, I'm going to start there. And then we come forward and up and over. If it's too much on your shoulders, just take the strap out, okay? So hips back to the heels is one of the things that we're working on. And then arms forward. Keep the strap suspended in the air and pulling on either side of the strap. So the time starting now, it's just a minute in this pose. And it's really, it can be a difficult pose. And if you're struggling too much, just take the strap out. But keep pushing those hips back to the heel. Just keep bringing the shoulder blades towards each other. I know a lot of you are doing that, I can see that. Just bring them towards each other. We've got about 20 seconds to go. Beautiful. It's really good pose for stabilization, so all those little muscles in the shoulder, little other tendons, I should say, stabilizing and also stretching. So when you're ready, you can slowly come up and just move straight into Shavasana. Keep the strap beside you.
Then when you're ready, we're just going to come into, grab the strap, just bring the right foot up, place the strap around the right foot. So the first pose we're going to do here is bringing the leg away from the body. Okay, so it's about a minute in this one. So bring the leg away from the body, right leg, holding and pulling on the strap. So bringing the toes up towards the shins and heel away from the body. Just bringing chin to chest, shoulder blades towards each other. So we're just using this as a lengthening through the spine pose as well. It's going to be a bit of an all-over stretch today. We're going to be doing shoulders, hips and hamstrings with all the strap movements. Just the last 10 seconds here. So push that heel away, toe towards the shins. Just get that deep stretch in that last few seconds. Now inhale, come up. We're going to come all the way over to the other side. So swap hands and just bring that right leg over to the other side. Pushing the heel away. And just try and shimmy those shoulder blades back onto the floor so they're both on the floor. Chin to chest, bring that right arm out if you like, and just keep pushing that right heel away. Bringing the foot up as high as possible, so up towards the top of the body. So you're bringing the foot upwards. Just obviously just allowing for how you feel in this pose. The higher you go, the more stretch you're going to get in the hamstring. That breath should be really rhythmic now. Should be nice and relaxed in the breath. So the last 30 seconds, so bring that foot up as high as possible and push the heel away as far as possible. Toes coming towards the shins. Make sure those shoulder blades are on the floor, chin towards the chest. And breathe for this last 20 seconds or so, deeply. And then slowly working your way up. So now we come into hammock on this side. So you're either holding the strap with both hands and pulling it back towards you, the leg back towards you, or coming into hammock with putting the strap around your head. And if you've done hammock for a while now and your hamstrings are getting loose, just adjust the strap. So tighten the strap up, shorten the strap up if you need to. breathing deeply. Just try and keep the mind clear so don't get lost in thoughts. If you do, just come back to the breath. Remember, bent knee's okay if you need it, but eventually you want to straighten that leg. So just work towards straightening. So we're halfway through on hammock on this side. Nice stillness. Everyone's as still as possible. It's really nice to see. Just know you're getting the best out of the pose. The more still you are. So now physically, the stillness is there, and work on mentally having the stillness. When you're ready, releasing that pose, and we'll go straight onto the other side, but coming into the outward position. So grabbing the straps and bringing the left foot away from the body. The left leg away from the body. Resting that right leg, straightening the right leg. Once you get down there, as far as you can go, bring that right hip back down to the floor. Your left leg will come up a little bit more, and that's okay. And push that left heel away. Toes towards the shins. You can also bring the foot up as high as possible. Slowly coming back up and then coming over to the other side. So swapping hands and then coming over to the other side. And once you're there, make sure that you shimmy those shoulder blades back to the floor, chin towards chest, and getting that really nice twist of the hips and the spine. Bring that foot up as high as it can go. Push the heel away from the body and the toes towards the shins. About 40 seconds to go. So really challenge yourself in this one by pushing that heel away as far as it can go. You're going to get a really deep stretch, and it'll help for when you come into hammock pose, you'll get more of an opening of the hamstrings. And just the last breath. And then work your way back up. And then come into hammock. And just breathe. The more you get that knee straightened, the more opening you're going to get in the hamstring. The further you'll get back, the less tension you're going to have in your hamstrings, and the less chance of it being like tight all the time. It'll just be looser. There's an operation that you have this Dr. Halpin in Sydney who operates on things like hamstrings and stuff for rugby league players and soccer players. And so what he does is he puts them under anaesthetic for what do they call it, for when you're asleep anyway. Put them under that, and then he gets their leg in this position where we are now, straightens the knee, and brings it as far back over the head as possible. And it either fixes the hamstring and they're back on the field within 7 days, or it snaps it and then they reattach it to the bone. But that fixes the hamstring eventually. So just imagine you're being pushed back as far as you can go, so the hamstring can really stretch a long way. We just don't allow it to. And when you're ready to come out of the pose, relax the hamstrings now. Into Shavasana. Just allow that blood to flow through. It's a really nice feeling after that pose. When you're ready, bring the knees up, have a bit of a squeeze there, and then roll up to a seated position. We're going to give the hamstrings a bit of a break. And we're going to come up into Vajrasana. Get as comfortable as possible in Vajrasana. So you might want to sit on the bolster or a cushion. in this way, or between the legs. I don't mind this one. This is quite nice. Or just work the knees and the ankles and come in Vajrasana. This way. Have your strap. So we're going to come into Gomukhasana arms. Okay, so we're just stretching through the shoulders. So it's a really nice one to use the strap with. So the strap in the top hand, coming over, and I'll just move my screen a little bit. Coming over. So you want that elbow as close to the back of your head as possible. So just get in that position first and get as far as you can get into that. And once you're in that position, bring the sternum up, set yourself, then bring the left arm out. And drop the thumb down towards the floor. That's going to give you the extension and the rotation. And bring the hand up and under, grabbing the strap. Pulling on the strap. If you can grab your fingers comfortably, do that, but don't just grab onto one finger. Just use the strap and get like a really nice stretch. So I just thought we'd do this for 20 minutes either side, and then I'll take the class out. Or 3 minutes. So lengthening through the spine. So all the way through this pose, what you need to think is get that elbow as close to the back of the head as possible. Okay, so even releasing a little bit on the strap so that your left arm doesn't come up as much, trying to work that right arm up as much as possible. And then lengthening through the spine, so sternum up, nice and straight. Really nice heart opener as well, this one. So we're opening up through the chest, just allowing the heart to blossom, open up to new opportunity. And if you can hear a stomach going off, it's actually not mine, it's the person behind the computer there. I haven't fed her in a few days. You've got a minute 20 to go. So just set yourself, reset yourself. It's easy just to drop out of this pose and lean forward. So come as straight as possible with the spine. So we want those shoulder blades really, really coming inward, in towards each other. Chest up. Pull on that strap. Get the tension. I know if you've got shoulder issues, this isn't much fun, but it's definitely going to fix them. So maybe not as good as what they were when you were 15, but it'll definitely take a lot of tension and a lot of pain away. And when you're ready, release. Should be a nice stretch through that side. So we'll move straight into the other side. So again, just working on getting that left arm up first, getting it as high as possible, and taking your time to do it, because I know that everyone's shoulders are so different each side. So you might get anywhere near where you got the last side, or you might get twice as close as where you need to be. So this is tighter for me. And once you're there and you've got the strap, if you need the strap in the top hand, then bring the shoulder blades together, right arm out, drop the right thumb down and come up and under, working your way up. And just continually trying to bring that elbow as far behind the head as possible, to the middle of the head. Chest up, shoulder blades working towards each other. Chin to chest, and breathe. Keep bringing that chest out, so keep pushing that chest out. Focusing on the breath. And the beauty of this pose here, we're working ankles, knees, at the same time as working the shoulders. And sometimes you're that tight in the shoulders, you forget about your knees and your ankles until you come out of this pose. So it's really good. You'll see in this pose, if you look on YouTube and stuff, that there's a lot of people that come forward in this pose and touch the ground, and that's the where you end up doing it with this pose. You come forward and touch the ground, but until you can have a straight spine, until you can grab your hands, it's pointless doing that. Okay, so it's the straight spine we're after, the opening of the chest, lengthening of the spine. And once you've got that down pat and you can hold it for 5 or 6 minutes, then only then you start coming forward. You need that length through the spine. Otherwise your shoulders will just droop and it's a pointless exercise. So if you ever go to a yoga class and a teacher says just come forward, you just only do it if you've got those things down pat. Last 30 seconds here. And when you're ready to release, you're just laying down in Shavasana. Stretching out those knees, ankles. You should feel the blood starting to flow through there now. And the shoulders. So really nice pose that for opening the joints, getting the blood flowing through some of the major joints, which is the knees, ankles and shoulders. Elbows and wrists were involved in that. When you're ready, bring knees into the chest, have a bit of a squeeze. Rolling up to a seated position. We're going to do 2 poses in one here. So I'm going to give you the option. So we're going to do Baddha Konasana. Okay, so if you use the strapping Baddha Konasana,
do that. Reclining Baddha-Konasana, so Supta. If you use the strap, do that. But if you don't want to put the strap completely over, and you'll understand why in a second, completely over yourself like that. If you haven't got a strap to do that, we don't really have to do it, but I'll show you the other way as well. So if you can, use the strap, and then we're laying back onto the floor, okay? You can use a cushion if you like, if you need to come up. So I'll show you the full pose, and then I'll show you the ways we're going to do it. So what we're going to do first is we're bringing our arms into eagle arms, okay? So that's why we don't need to be holding the strap. So if you normally hold the strap and you can't fit it around like that, just don't worry about the strap, just come into Baddha-Konasana. So we're going to bring right arm under left, and then be in this pose like this, okay? So hands up against the forehead and just hold there. Okay, so if you don't want to use the strap, just Baddha-Konasana without the strap. So it's just this, but exactly the same. Bring the heels up as high as possible. Right arm under left, twisting, coming into Gurudasana arms and holding there. Okay, so they're your options. So working the shoulders, working the hips, using the strap to get in a bit deeper if you need to. So you'll find that Gurudasana arms are a little bit easier when you're laying flat on your back. But the longer you go, the deeper the stretch is here. It's really nice just having the hands on the forehead, on the third eye. It's almost like you're in child's pose as well. Stimulating the pineal gland. If you want to get more stretch out of the shoulders, just bring the hands further up the head, to the top of the head. Work with the breath. It's a minute 20 to go. You're getting a really good stretch through the shoulders now. And in this, because the shoulder stretch is so intense, you forget about the hips, how the hips are opening up. You're lengthening through the spine. You want to bring that chin towards chest. A lot of things, a lot of positive things happening in the body right now. Main thing, focused on that breath. There's so much happening. The thought process will be flying around the mind now. Slowly release. Stay in the same position with your legs and just move the arms to the other way. So it was right under the left before, so left under right. Getting yourself nice and comfortable.
important to get the focus on the breath nice and early and continue with that focus. You want to be able to come out of a pose because you're ready to come out of a pose, not because the mind is telling you things. You can slide the arms up higher if you want to get a little bit of a deeper stretch into the shoulder, particularly the right shoulder. If you want to go, you want to wrap the arms tighter, so just squeeze the top elbow into that bottom elbow, into the crease. Just squeeze that and lift up a little bit higher. You'll feel a deeper stretch. You just got 45 seconds to go. And slowly, slowly releasing. Coming into Shavasana. So releasing the arms, releasing the strap, if you've got the strap, and just straightening the legs out and relax everything in Shavasana. Should feel pretty awesome now. Chin to chest, shoulder blades together. Bring the knees into the chest, have a squeeze. Rolling up, and coming into, I think it's everyone's favorite pose, Janu Shirasana. So bringing the right leg straight out, left foot comes up against the thigh, and we use the strap in this one here. We did this the other day, but I love it. It's a really nice pose. So strap, just remember, always use the strap, even if you can reach over the foot, lengthening through the spine. You should feel ready for this now as much as you can, just from the poses we've done. Chin up, chest up, and come forward. Keep looking up, remember, keep looking up. Stomach to thigh. Once you've got stomach to thigh, you can go further into the pose. If you haven't got stomach to thigh, just keep working to that position, stomach to thigh.
Beautiful. Just, it's really nice to see everyone having their chin up, chest up and coming forward. It's a really, really nice thing to do. Once you're working stomach to thigh and you've got it to where you need to get it to today, well, then what you need to do is just relax the shoulders away from the ears and slowly start bringing the chin towards the chest, just slowly. And that'll start getting the body in motion for once the stomach is to the thigh, and then start coming down further. Just remember with that left leg, if your knee or your calf or something there is tight, you're going to feel some resistance there. So you can place a block or a towel or something under that, and that'll just relax that leg. Because if you feel resistance on the left, you're not going to get the deepest stretch on the right. So you want to get rid of any resistance there. And a lot of the times in this sort of pose, it's the mind that's stopping you going forward. There's so much happening in the body there. There's so much happening when you're tight. So your mind is telling you a lot of different things. You know, your mind's got this bank of memory, and the memories from previous experiences. So it'll just bring up one of those memories for you. So the idea of just sticking with the breath and focusing on the breath is because you're actually being in the now and allowing the body to do what it needs to do. But if you let the mind talk to you and telling you about previous experiences, you're not in the now, so you're not feeling what the body's telling you, what the body's feeling. You're just letting the mind listen to what happened 10 years ago and thinking that it's still realistic. So when you're ready, slowly start working up. So what we're going to do different this time is we're going to stretch the left leg out and come into Paschimottanasana. So both legs this time. And see how you feel doing it this way. So just exactly the same process, but we've got both legs. So lengthening through the spine, chin away from chest, stomach to thigh. And if you do have trouble with stomach to thigh, this worked for me. It was a block, and you place it, you push it in to your thigh and bring the belly button to the top of the block and work your rib cage over that block. It can be a little bit uncomfortable, but it actually works to get your stomach to the thigh. You can also do it with a towel or a cushion. You keep pulling on that strap, keep lengthening through the spine. So the last one was head to knee. So we're looking down, chin to chest. This one, what we're doing is we're looking forward at our toes. So we're trying to lengthen through that spine by continually moving the spine. So keep looking forward towards the toe. Drop the shoulders away from the ears, whether you're pulling the strap or reaching around. Just make sure the shoulders are away from the ears. And just lengthen through the spine. Keep lengthening. So inhale, that crown of the head is moving forward. And exhale, you're coming deeper into the pose. So push. You can even walk those seat bones back a little bit. And that'll get you a little bit closer Keep working that breath. A lot of you have done this pose long enough now where it is a struggle in the pose, but you feel awesome after it. And this is really, these poses like this, the progression, this is where you get really nice progression through yoga, and also the mobility that you need through the hips. This is one of the major poses for hip mobility. You get to the stage here, once you get that stomach on the thigh, and once you start reaching forward and you're going forward, right at the top of your hamstring will start opening up, and you're going to feel, it's almost like, it's actually not pain, but it's opening up.
It is
You can
pain.
feel, it's not pain. You can just feel it.
It's so much pain.
You can just feel it opening up more and more. You just got to work with it. Sometimes you've got to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So just always work with what you got, but just never stop the progression through emotional strain. So you've got about 10 seconds to go. So slowly work your way up. Okay, so now Jana Shavasana on the other side. So it's right foot up against the left thigh, using the strap. You're probably all cursing me now, but you'll be, wanting to call me up during the day saying, yeah, I feel really good, Ray, thank you.
No.
So just lengthen through the spine, chin up, chest up, come forward. Stomach to thigh, it's just the same process, stomach to thigh. Once stomach to thigh, start reaching forward. Elbows come down either side. The shin eventually. Beautiful. Really nice poses. Again, just that right side. Just make sure that there's no tension coming from there. If there is, just make sure that right leg is stable. Like putting something underneath it. It's really nice to see all the stillness on the TV, because I haven't got any stillness with the person in the room here, I can tell you. God. I think if I was a teacher and graded you today, I'd give everyone a gold star. I'd stick it all on your little squares that I can see. And the person here would be on detention. With a note sent home to their parents.
I've been good for every other pose. Okay.
So breathe, just coming further. So working, the biggest thing to do is once you get the stomach as close as you can to the thigh and you haven't got it on the thigh, start working through the crown of the head and the breath. Okay, so instead of having that focus on, I want to get stomach to the thigh, stomach to the thigh, focus on crown of the head, so lengthening it through the spine, and focus on the breath. And that's eventually just going to happen. And if your stomach's on the thigh, it's exactly the same. Crown of the head. Work on that crown of the head. And eventually you just tuck your chin under
Forehead comes to the knee. And then lift the elbows to the floor, then lift the heel up. So last 20 seconds. And slowly work your way up. So before we move into the final pose Shavasana, just straighten the legs out. And once you're right to do it, just come up into windshield wipers. So bring toes and heels to touch. Really important to get that twist, and you'll feel it in your hips. So feel that stretch in the hips as you twist, so nice and slow. Do about 3 or 4 either side. And then come into Shavasana. You've got the option for a minute. I always like it after doing that. It's just placing the block and coming into a supported bridge. But you don't have to. If you feel like you just want to go straight in Shavasana, do that. But I'm going to time for just about 1.5 minutes, and then we can release the block. It's always a really nice way to finish. So we just really twisted those hips then, and now lifting the hips up before we rest. The hips. And that'll give us a good couple of minutes in Shavasana. Chin to chest, shoulder blades together. Don't forget to just focus on the breath. And when you're ready, bend the knees up, lift the hips up, release whatever's under there, and just slowly bring vertebrae by vertebrae down to the floor, and then coming into final pose Shavasana. As soon as you get comfortable in Shavasana, start feeling the breath in the stomach. So feel that rise and fall of the breath, of the stomach with the breath. And then just go back to 4 and 6 breathing. Okay, so 4 inhale, 6 exhale, with the focus on the belly button moving up and down. 4 and 6. Now move up to the chest. Same 4 and 6. You want to feel that chest fill up and rise, and then deflate. 6. And bring the awareness to the nostrils and inhale for 4, exhale for 6.
And then just stop counting the breath and take the awareness back to the belly button. And on the inhale, fill up the belly button as much as you can. And then once that's full, fill up the chest. So keep inhaling. And once the chest is as high as it can go, then slowly exhale everything out. So feel the chest drop and then feel the belly button drop down to nothing. And then just continue with that. So filling the belly up, chest up, and then releasing. So just 2 or 3 times. Just do that. Then bring the awareness back to the nostrils. Feel the cool air come in, the warm air go out. And then just bring the awareness to the natural breath. Just allow the breath to be natural, spontaneous, move away from the rhythmic style breath. And then just become aware of your body and the relaxed state that your body is in. Become aware of the calmness, that sensation that's through the mind. Just become aware of that right now. Feel that, remember that. And go back to the body and feel how relaxed it is by just becoming aware of all the parts of the body that are laying on the floor. The sensation of relaxation. Now it's time to give yourself a bit of thanks and praise for getting here on a Friday morning, setting yourself up for a beautiful day. Just knowing that you've done some amazing positive things for your body and your mind in particular. And then the gratitude to someone in your life that you're grateful for. Make it a really positive, meaningful gratitude to that person. Then start wiggling the toes and the fingers and rolling to the right hand side. And making your way up to Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose. Bring your hands into Namaskar, great position, thumbs in the middle of the chest. Pushing the chest up, shoulder blades together, chin to chest. And thank you all for being here this morning. Really appreciate you all being here and allowing me to take you through the class. And I know you're all going to feel amazing from the yoga class. So have a wonderful, positive day. Namaste.